So now, before I pass you on to my best man, Dave, who I've known since our days in Cardiff Medical School, I'd just like to set a few things straight, just so you know the kind of man you're about to hear a speech from before hearing what he has to say about me. So Dave, like me, is in the middle of his surgical training, and he now has a very good work ethic, sort of, although this has not always been the case. For example, I recall one night shift in particular as a junior doctor where Dave's expert opinion was needed in the middle of the night. The trouble was the young Dr. Chan was nowhere to be found. So the nurse, looking for assistance after a while after trying to bleep him, decided to go and explore further and look in the doctor's on-call room to find out that maybe Dave was there and perhaps had not heard his bleep go off. As she opened the door to the doctor's on-call room, she was surprised to see a young Dr. Chan asleep on duty. Now, this may not be that surprising, when I first tell you that, until I tell you the fact that he was asleep on a blow-up airbed, which he'd brought in from home, with his own duvet, earplugs, and his own personal eye mask, completely oblivious to what was going on around him. So no wonder he didn't hear his bleep going off. To be fair, though, Dave is a really great doctor and has been a great friend to me over the years. I'm really grateful he's about to speak next, and I hope he's not going to say anything too bad about me. But I'll now pass you over to my best man, David Chan.
Curtains. No. Curtains. Thanks, Mike. So, we've heard about Lisa. We've heard about Mike and Lisa. Let's hear a bit about Mike. So I'll just start by just showing you this just short music video that we shall start playing now, so enjoy.
No more, no
So that was just the rehearsal for our audition for Britain's Got Talent in a few months' time. You think I'm joking, isn't it? Mike is actually a closet England supporter. The look on William's face when he saw that. So thanks to Margaret and Phil for helping me get those incriminating photos. Really appreciate it. So firstly, I'd like to thank Mike for giving me the opportunity to embarrass him on the most important day of his life. It's really such an honor, and it means a lot to me. I think it's apt that I kicked this off with one of those jokes that an Englishman, a Welshman, and a Chinese man happen to walk into a pub together. But no, I'll tell you a story of 3 friends who married women from different parts of the world. The first friend married a Chinese girl and told her that she had to do the dishes and to clean the house. So for the first couple of days, he didn't see any results, but by the 3rd day, he came home to a clean house and the dishes done. The second friend married a girl from India and again told her the same orders to clean the house, do the dishes, and cook dinner. Again, the first couple of days, he didn't see any results, but by the 3rd day, he came home to a clean house and dinner was served. Now, the third friend married a Welsh girl and gave her the same orders: clean the house, do the dishes, mow the lawn, have dinner ready for 6 o'clock. First couple of days, he didn't see anything, but by the 3rd day, some of the swelling had gone down in his eyes, and he could see a bit. We actually had a 4th friend who married a Portuguese girl, but he was hospitalized before. I'm sorry, Sophia. We love you. So some of you must be wondering who or why is this little Chinese guy standing here today? I think I know most of you. For those that don't, my name is Dave Chan. I've been blessed to have known Mike for the last 13 years or so, ever since I came from Malaysia to study medicine in Cardiff. But it wasn't until we were both exiled to a little village in West Wales, in Newcastle Emlyn. And that was when I got to know him a bit better. You know, it was a village of 30 people with 1 pub. What would you expect 2 young single male medical students to be doing in the evenings? There was a strip club there, but no, I mean, that was it. We were not that bored, and it was a bit too dingy, and being the only Chinese visitor there, it would have been too obvious if we had actually stepped foot in it. But instead, I got to know his hidden talent, which we've heard today, so well. So I'm just going to spend the next few minutes sharing with you 3 qualities of Mike that has been really evident to me over the last few years, and I'm sure many of you can relate to them as well. The first quality is that Mike, he's genuinely innocent. Not until I heard about these Sunday evenings endeavors, but I was going to take that back, but well, what you see is what you get. He's told me that the way you dress doesn't matter at all. I've always known Mike as tracksuit bottom Mike. We've seen that. Actually, because that's all he wore to lectures. But in fact, that's all he wore all his life. Right until he met Lisa a few years ago. Who obviously spurred him to transform his wardrobe completely with the help of a few friends here today. But despite the simplicity of his dressing, Mike is clearly an attractive young man who had Lisa poach him online. You know, it was these looks that a lot of people have mistook him for Jamie Roberts, the rugby player, usually elderly demented patients on the ward. But you know, if I were a young Welsh girl, I would as well. But you know, you'll be pleased to know that Lisa is Mike's first and only girlfriend. But that doesn't mean that Mike never went on dates or actually shared his first kiss with her. On this particular date, Mike was asked out by a really fit, young, attractive blonde nurse on the ward where he was working on a few years ago. And clearly he was overjoyed, ecstatic, you know, and he agreed wholeheartedly. Does Lisa know about this? Well, you know, after a lovely meal in the bay, she invited him over to her flat for coffee. Now, you and I know what coffee meant. But in his naivety, Mike went up thinking it was just going to be a simple, straightforward cup of coffee. The moment he stepped into her flat, she pounced onto him, gave him a huge big snog on his lips. And that was his first kiss, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that would be a dream come true for most men. And I know what most men would have done in that situation. But Mike was different. He legged it. He legged it. He literally called the taxi immediately. And Lisa, you'll be pleased to know, he stood by his principles. I mean, needless to say, he was single for a few years after that. So the second thing is Mike really values relationships. He's always putting others first. And Cardiff, I've always said, is my home away from home. Every time I fly back to Malaysia for holidays, I would be missing Cardiff after about 4 or 5 days. And it's because of the relationships I have with many of you here today, and especially Mike, who's made me feel really welcome, here in Cardiff. And I really appreciate that, Mike. Mike and Lisa took the effort to come out to Malaysia for our wedding, and he used his charm somehow to get himself promoted to the presidential suite on our wedding night. I don't know how he did that. The third thing is that Mike is a real fighter. For those of you that know me, every time I get a little sniffle, a cold, that's the end of me. The term man flu doesn't even justify it at all. I'm paralyzed, bedbound, unable to cook, clean, feed myself. But I remember it was a few years ago in December, and Mike rang me, and he said that his kidneys are packed up. It was quite a rapid deterioration, and it took all of us by surprise. That wasn't in the script at all. We were both eagerly preparing for our application for specialist surgical training. And all of a sudden, all of that seemed meaningless. It's how we react and respond to these challenges that is a true testament of our character. And the way Mike reacted was a true testament to what he really is and his core beliefs and values. And although after the initial disappointment, Mike immediately looked for the best solution, and thank God that Margaret had a matching kidney. And following surgery, both mother and son recovered really well. And even within 6 weeks, Mike was itching to get back to work. Obviously, he wasn't allowed to. But by 3 months, he was back to doing what he loved best. Now, Mike has a life that all men will envy. He's got a loving, supportive family. He's got a nice, big, beautiful house. He gets paid good money to feel boobs every day. Every day. And now he's got a loving and beautiful wife. What more could a man ask for? Just to clarify, Mike's a breast surgeon. And if any of you need any enhancements, I'm sure Mike will, not that any of you would need it, but I'm sure he'll give you some wedding guest discount. Now, before I end, I'd like to pass the message from Howard and Margaret to Mike and Lisa. They've asked me to convey it on their behalf. So I'm just going to read this message on behalf of them. So Howard and myself, Margaret, would like to tell everyone that we have 2 sons and that they're both very special to us. But today is all about Mike and Lisa. We would like to welcome Lisa into our family, as we think she's a very special person and just right for Mike. And we wish them both all the love, happiness, and luck in the world, in that order. Because without love, there is nothing. Without happiness, there is nothing. And without luck, you can never win the lottery. So I hope you've bought the lucky lotto ticket for tonight. Good luck to you both. Love, Mom and Dad. Before I end, I'd just like to end with this greeting in Welsh. Pob bendith a dymuniaeth da I gwpl arbennig iawn. all stand to propose the last final toast, not only for prosperity, but for productivity. Okay, you may be seated.